everybody. Welcome to the Shrimp City Report, Charleston's finest podcast on everything entertainment, leisure, and sports, maybe? I don't know. I'm joined today with co-host DJ. How you doing, dude?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. We're here with a friend of ours, so that's actually a treat. We have Arleigh Hertzler from the Defilers. How you doing, Arlie?
I'm doing great. Got a big weekend on tap, so getting super excited.
You know, we were going to Rockabillaque in the first place because we're, DJ and I are fans of going out there, and saw that you were on the bill, so we had to talk to you about it because, God, the Defilers and Arlie, you've been involved in Rockabillaque since the inception in Charleston, right?
Yeah, it was kind of wild timing. We used to play tons of festivals around the Southeast when we were really hitting it hard, and Simon got the ball rolling just as we were kind of fading off a little bit. So we played it probably 3 times in the early years as a full band, and I've played it on this other side projects or solo, but it's been fun to get back together and do it this way the last 2 years.
Do you prefer the group, or do you mind playing solo? I mean, what's the more anxiety drop?
I don't like my own voice, and I'm not a very good guitar player, so it's always been difficult for me to play solo, but I've gotten a lot better at it and a lot more comfortable with it over the last couple of years. Our drummer lives out of town, and just age-wise and place in life, it's kind of tough for us to get together. We practiced about a month ago, and it was the first time we were all in the same room since last Rockabillaque. So it gives me a chance to do some stuff in the meantime, but this is really what we live for.
Playing live, Rockabillaque Festival, you actually have a kind of cool deal because you're playing Friday and Saturday, right?
Yeah, last year we pulled off one last show at the Sparrow on Friday night, got it under the umbrella with Simon. He kind of did 2 pre-parties last year, and that was our send off to the Sparrow. And just the fact that we have to put the practice time in, and we don't know when we'll be able to get together and play another show. So kind of asked him if it would be possible to do both nights this year, just more bang for our buck, Plus, we have a lot of friends that work in, food and bev industry and stuff like that can't be there during the day Saturday. So it gives people 2 chances. They can come out Friday night after work, or come out and bring the kids on Saturday and, watch our mouths on the mic and everything during the day.
Well, that's a pretty good lineup on Friday, too. We're going to be talking to Skylar in a little bit. So how'd you start this? I mean, where are you from?
I grew up in central Pennsylvania, Carlisle, Pennsylvania. It's near Harrisburg in the southern part of the state. They call it South Central. I always joke with people, it's only about 30 minutes north of the Mason-Dixon line, so I'm barely a Yankee.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So what brought you out to Charleston then?
I went to college out north of Pittsburgh and really got sick of the snow. Girl that I was dating from the time was from right off Lake Michigan in north of Chicago, and I grew up in Pennsylvania. And we went to college off Lake Erie, and we just were looking for somewhere sunnier at the time. And now the summers seem hotter than ever. So kind of wonder about that decision, but it's been 25 years now.
So you started the Defilers in 2001 or so, yep. And that was with Mike Dimas.
Yeah, we met at a Go Baby Go show. Both of us got there when the flyer said to be there, and we were the only 2 people there.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so
wow.
We helped get it was at David's garage where he worked on Vespa bikes and stuff. So we helped get everything set up and cleaned up and tapped the keg for him and everything. And in the meantime, I'd been playing a little bit with some people here and there, but nothing ended up serious. Just started talking, and he said he played bass, and I said, well, you're my bass player now. So let's figure out a drummer. And Duck came along not too long after that.
Go ahead and describe your sound to a layman or somebody that's just walked up to the stage. Tell me about it.
I always said in the past, and I feel like it's changed a little bit with the newer lineup, but I always said it was equal parts 50s rockabilly, 60s country, and 70s punk. Mike was definitely the one that brought the heavier punk influence. So we swung a little bit more towards the honky tonk side of things, but it's It's 3-chord drinking music is really what it is. Just good time.
Yeah. So how would you define honky tonk? Because this is the first time I've ever seen, I think it's ever like popped up in my wheelhouse of music. Is it more towards like rockabilly and like R&B, or how is it? Is it more of a rockabilly?
Honky tonk is more like, Texas Roadhouse kind of raw country, kind of bouncy, a lot of sad songs.
It sounds like it has a smell of Schaefer beer and cigarettes associated.
Definitely.
Okay, so I have listened to your early stuff because I don't think I met you until the mid 2000s or something, and went back and looked at some of those early videos with your original bass player. Punk driven for sure. You can definitely tell it, and in some of those early recordings that y'all have like on Reverb Nation and stuff, really you nailed cowpunk, and then you're on to honky tonk, and now you have a little more traditional rockabilly, honky tonk, revved up, whatever. Does your bassist play upright bass, or what do y'all do now?
Hooley is on an upright. We always debated that back in the day. Mike always played an electric, and it was more, since we did travel a lot, it was more about the space in the van. He was never against the idea of playing it, but it was like, well, I'll play it on half the set, and then it's taking up half the van. So we played a lot of bills. We used to play Star Bar, and it'd be a 5-band bill, and the other 4 bands would all have uprights, and we were the only band with an electric, bass guitar. But it was our sound. We didn't have to adjust to fit in. Cigar Store Indians were another band that we always respected from Atlanta that did the same thing. Yeah, they had such a great sound, but they didn't feel the need to be a total throwback. But yeah, Hooley picked up the bass in the meantime after Mike left town, and he'd been coming to our shows for 15 years and didn't really ever think it would evolve into the Defilers. We played together in Nash Rambler and the Spare Parts, and did a couple other things together, but it was really bringing Duck back after being gone for 12 years, 13 years out of the band, bringing him back in. He's the one you hear on the early recordings. That it was his idea, really. I was kind of fighting against using the name The Defilers without Mike, but we had to practice. We also added a lead guitar player for all those years. It was a 3-piece, and we added Jason Brockman on lead guitar to take that off my hands. And it felt like this is what the Defilers are at this point in our life. It's a lot of the same songs that, span different drummers and everything, but they all have a little bit different feel to them now.
Okay, so you added Jason. Is that Jason from Jason and the Juggernauts?
Yeah, and he's actually got the Juggernauts back together. They've played a few shows, and they will be playing Saturday.
Okay, cool. I might definitely have to see that because I am not sure I've ever seen.
No, they're phenomenal. I love the Unterreiner brothers rhythm sections, just one of a kind.
Let me put you on a spot. What is a show that you have played in your lifetime or your history that you were completely intimidated by the headline act that you had to open for? Was there any? Has there ever been one that intimidated you? Not scary, but like, holy shit, I'm playing in front of this dude.
Yeah, a lot of people in the neighborhood know Alan Coker. He's been working at the Performing Arts Center in the Coliseum for years, and he was able to swing us an opening spot from Merle Haggard back in the day. And
wow.
It was honestly pure luck, because back then they would always use the Blue Dogs for an opening slot on anything country or, that direction. And Merle didn't want it. The management company or whatever didn't want an opener. They were fine. They didn't need an opener, and went on that way for like a month or two of sales. And then all of a sudden ticket sales just kind of tailed off, and they were like, okay, maybe go ahead and add an opener and see if that boosts the ticket sales. And the Blue Dogs were already booked that day. They waited too late into the game. So the fact that the Blue Dogs were booked, Alan was able to speak up in the meeting and say, hey, I got these guys that would kill to play this show. And they said they'd do it for a case of PBR and a bottle of Old Crow, which is what we got paid. And I'll tell you, we got there to load in, and I had been a stagehand at the both venues before for years. So I was excited to make the guys load my stuff in. And of course we got there 15 minutes after they let everybody go for the afternoon. but we were headed in, and Merle came out wearing a bucket hat, looking like he was going fishing on a John boat. And my drummer didn't even recognize him. He just kind of walked by us real quick. And so it didn't sink in really then that, that we were playing with a legend. It was basically after sound check, getting ready for the show. We had our own dressing room, with our
right on, fancy.
One case of PBR and bottle of Old Crow. But I went out and peeked around the curtain on the stage at the Performing Arts Center and realized what, almost 2,000 people looks like sitting down. And it wasn't so much playing in front of Merle, it was playing in front of those people that were there to see Merle. And
yeah.
We were smart. We altered our set to be more on the honky tonk and countryside that night. We've opened for Flog and Molly. We can go, more that direction and still, make the crowd happy. But that moment of realizing, this isn't Cumberland's or this isn't Johnny Ola's, and these people are sitting down, and we've really got to entertain these people. And, that was more intimidating than anything. But Merle was amazing. His band was super cool. We all hung out after the show, and it was kind of like hanging out with your grandpa. If your grandpa played music his whole life and done hard time.
No, that was good. When I asked you that, I didn't expect something like that in the stratosphere of artists.
We've gotten to play. We've definitely played a lot of free gigs just for the chance to open for heroes. But it's a lot of our heroes are very accessible. They're just normal people that play good down to earth music. Hanging out with Southern Culture on the Skids and bands like that. It's we all kind of do the same thing, and they don't see themselves as better than you. And certainly Merle didn't. I mean, he was telling us stories and we were telling him stories. We had to make him move his tour bus so we could move the van because we didn't have reverse on our tour van. He thought
that is, dude, that is street cred, man. That is, I bet he'd love to hear that.
He told us stories about the station wagons that he toured in the 60s and stuff. Yeah, he was like, it wasn't much better back then.
It's funny, that itself sounds like a song by Merle Haggard talking about having no reverse on a tour van.
Yeah, but that was the worst stretch because I would always forget, and I'd pull up to the brick wall at the gas station and shut the van off and then realize, oh, crap, we're going to have to push her back.
Well, Arlie, I appreciate you coming by. We will see you this weekend. What do you have to plug, and how can folks come see y'all?
We're doing the pre-party at Common House tomorrow night, Friday night. We're going to be playing last that night, but there's two other good bands in front of us. And then obviously the street party on Saturday is our favorite day of the year in Charleston. Old cars, old bikes, live music everywhere, good food. It's never been a big deal to me, but people love walking around in the street with a beer. That's allowed for the day. But we'll be playing at 3:45 on the Dig stage. And like I said, that day is family friendly. Last year, I think the average age of the little mosh pit in front of our stage was about 4 years old. But it is fun because, we've been doing this a long time, and now we get to play a show and our kids get to see us. Hopefully they'll remember that we were cool at one point.
And I assume we can find you on Instagram, Facebook, and all that.
Yep. Yeah. And, like I said,
okay, cool. We'll put a little.
We're way overdue for some new recordings and some new songs. I've been working on some new stuff lately, so hopefully we can get that together in the meantime. And Duck is getting married and moving up to Wilmington, so he'll be a little bit further away than Beaufort, but he's mobile, and technology exists. We can share songs through the internet and learn them that way before we get together. So,
like I said, we'll see you out there. Appreciate you sharing your time, and for everybody else, DJ, say bye.
Thank you guys very much. We'll see you all this weekend.
Yeah. Thank you.
Later.
Bye.